So here is how pricing can double or even triple your revenue of your AI SaaS. My name is Ondrej, and I built Vector.ai from nothing to 14 months later selling it for $1.8 million. And in fact, look at the first 120 days, right? So we were stuck at, well, I say we, but in the beginning it was just me and my AI agents. So I didn't hire anybody until 5K MRR. So in the beginning, you can see that it took me like over 2 months to get there, but I was stuck below 2K MRR for a long time, right? So it was just me, Claude, and Cursor, and I didn't know what to do. Even though I was sending a lot of traffic to Vectel, I couldn't break through 2K MRR until I fixed my pricing. So here's the pricing trap that most first-time founders are guilty of. They undercharge, right? So that is the main thing. They just undercharge for their product and they overthink everything. You know, like how people decide the pricing. Literally the main thing is just copying what everybody else does. And that is just stupid. It is stupid and it will keep you poor. If you want to increase your pricing, you know, when people get that thought, they instantly say like, will I get less customers? What if I lose my current customers? Or do people pay this much for software? All of these are limiting beliefs. Here's the truth. You are not OpenAI. You cannot afford to waste endless money on market share. OpenAI is losing tens of billions of dollars per year. So why are you charging like OpenAI? Also, here's the truth. It's much easier to reach $20,000 a month with higher pricing. It's just the math is much simpler. Then with $20 a month subscriptions, you need 1,000 unique paying clients, which is very hard to get, let me tell you, even if you have a big online audience. So here's what I did. At the start, I had these two free tiers. Actually, I started with a paid only, but then I added the free tier. So this was my pricing model. Free and a single $30 a month. Very bad, very basic and very amateur. So after I learned a bit more about pricing, I kept the free plan. I dropped Pro for 20. This is a minor change, but the main thing is I added another more expensive tier, right? And the second main thing is I got serious about annual plans. So not only does this capture better the pricing range of what people are willing to spend, because before I was targeting only like these two, free and paid, and then I added the $100 a month, which brought in more quality users, but I also got serious about annual plans, because some people just want to buy annual, get a better deal, and you get a lot more money upfront. Now, I'm going to explain later why that is so OP. And first, actually, let me show you how this looks like currently. So when you load the pricing page of Vectel, you might notice that it's automatically on annual, right? So we assume that the customer will get annual. And a lot of people will actually get that. Now, if you want to do monthly, you can see that we have a nice pop-up that it shows that you save money on annual. But what is the main effect of having this more expensive tier? It makes the pro tier look super cheap. This is what's called an anchor price. Even if you didn't plan on selling this, and let me give you a total cheat code that's like so OP. You can literally add this, and instead of letting people check this out, instead of adding this button, you would say coming soon. And just by doing that, you would make more money. Let me repeat that. You don't even need to launch the more expensive pricing tier. All you have to do is just add it to your pricing page, add the text coming soon, and it will automatically serve as an anchor price to make your main offer look way more affordable and way better deal. So all of you should do this right now. Now, this is what's called a money model, and Hormozy wrote a whole book on that. I definitely recommend reading it. For some reason, people in the software space, when they're building AI startup or AI SaaS, they just think these lessons don't apply, and all of them do apply. And I would say there's even a better arbitrage because of so much ego. Everybody's in like the Silicon Valley Y Combinator mindset, and they don't realize that a lot of these fundamental business principles still apply in software, which means there is less competition applying these business principles than in other industries. So you basically need upsells, right? Once you have some customers, whether it's free users, paid users, you need something to sell them. And most importantly, you need something to sell to the people who are already buying. So there is this quote. It's something like, the only thing that's worse than giving a $1,000 offer to a person with $100 is to give a $100 offer to a person with $1,000. Because in that case, you lose 900. In the first case, you just lose 100, right? So basically, you probably don't have any super expensive plans, which means when a prospect that could afford them comes, they cannot spend that money with you, which is a massive issue. So first, when you have a free plan, this gets the users in, right? It's an attraction offer. Then you have a starter, which should be like a no-brainer, something like we have with the pro plan, which gets people. It should be like crazy value, right? And then you have the most expensive plan. You can call it Ultra, Pro, Max. Doesn't matter. And this is to create more revenue for the people who can afford it, right? So that's what a money model looks like in software. Now, annual plans are super underrated, right? Now, a lot of you might have an annual plan, but are you selling it? Are you making it the main thing? See, the reason why I only realized talking to one of my friends who's actually runs the second biggest AI newsletter. So he doesn't build software, he does the newsletters and sells media. And he explained this to me. When you do an annual plan, and you put that as the main thing, you can run paid ads, you can do influencer marketing. So this is what we did at Vectel, right? You notice this growth. It's not just the pricing by itself, it's also what the pricing unlocks. So when you charge more and when you push to the annual plan, so, okay, let's look at the current pricing, right? We have the Ultra is $100 a month. However, when you multiply that by 12, it should be 1.2K per year. But we didn't do that. We charge $800 per year, right? Which means you save $400, aka you get 4 months free. When you do that with a dedicated landing page, you can do so much more because for a single annual Ultra customer, you get $800 up front, which means you can spend a lot more money on paid ads like Facebook, Meta Suite, Google Ads, or paid influencers, right? So we started launching influencer campaigns later on. At the beginning, I didn't do any influencer marketing. It's only after I could afford it, which that's what I would recommend you as well. Don't spend money before you can afford it. But that's a lesson for another video. I have a lot on that topic as well. But if you charge, again, same product, if I push to this, the pro plan and the monthly, $20 a month, like good luck breaking even. It's terrible. I couldn't run any paid advertising methods to here. But if I push to Ultra and to the annual instead of monthly, now we're talking. Now I can spend up to $700 for a customer upfront, and because I get $800 right away, day one, cash collected, I'm in the profit instantly, right? So this is a complete game changer. Not only increasing your prices, but going to the annual plan. So annual plans are massively underrated, and you probably don't know how to use them, and you need to make your annual plan sexier. Include personalized onboarding. Include some tech support. Yeah, these things are not scalable. You probably don't want to do them forever, but that doesn't matter. At the beginning, your goal is to get to $20,000 a month. Get rich or die trying. That should be the mindset, right? So I don't care if you do have to do some calls. I don't care if you do some tech support and, some customers are going to be annoying and you're going to spend time. Better than being broke and not having money, right? More cash upfront is huge. It gives you the budget to fund ads and to grow even faster. And it's like a positive loop, right? Also, you might be thinking, okay, David, but what about the current customers? Well, guess what? You just grandfather their pricing. This is a term that means you don't charge them more. You keep them on their current pricing and they're going to be happy if you increase their prices because they keep their current prices, right? Now, of course, if you're a good entrepreneur, you can still upsell your current happy customers to the new higher plan, maybe credit them. So if someone is paying $20 a month and they want to upgrade, just credit them, make it 80 for them. Get clever about it. But the fastest way to make more money in any business, doesn't matter if it's AI software or brick and mortar, is to upsell something to current customers. That's infinitely easier than to get new customers, right? Just create a new offer, figure out other problems that your current customers have, and upsell them. It's simple as that. And also, you can actually have negative churn. A lot of people don't know about this. If more people upgrade and keep increasing their prices, this is like what big software companies do over here, you can offset the customers you lose, right? So let's say if you lose 10% of customers per year, which that would be amazing churn, if the other customers upgrade their plans by 15%, and spend 15% more with you, you actually have negative churn. So your company is growing by itself, right? So that's the dream case scenario. Now, what about API calls, right? A lot of people overthink this, like, oh my God, what models should I use? What if I go bankrupt? Guys, there is simple solutions, right? Such as different limits for different tier, right? So like literally this is what we offer here, AI feature rate limits. The standard plan doesn't have expensive models, first of all, at all. and the most expensive models are only on the paid plan. But this is like simple logic, just like limit the tiers so that free users cannot bankrupt you and paid users have reasonable limits so that you're still profitable, right? Then you can do a lot of tricks in the background, like compacting the context or swapping to cheaper models in the background. So yeah, in the chat, if people select Opus 4.6, obviously give them Opus 4.6. But for all of these background agents that you don't show what model that is, you don't have to use the most expensive one. In fact, sometimes speed is better. Just use Gemini Free Flash or something like that, right? So there's a lot of tricks you can do to lower costs in the background without making your product less valuable. But also, this is the main mindset. If you're spending too much on API, it means you're reaching product market fit. And that is a blessing. That is a good problem to have. Most people never get there. Most people never get that problem. So don't stress about this if it didn't happen. You're going to solve it when you come to it. And this is a core business principle. No, this is a core life principle. Do not solve problems that haven't arisen yet. So many people worry about things that haven't happened yet. A lot of these things just solve themselves by you get there. Or you're going to solve them when you get there. You're going to cross that bridge when you come to it. But now, focus on the biggest problem ahead of you. Don't imagine what happens once you have 1 million users and your API costs. That's absolutely stupid. So, in general, get to 20K a month ASAP, right? And think about this. Your goal should be to get to $20,000 a month in the simplest way possible, with as least friction as possible, right? So get rid of any fancy ideas in your head. Get rid of any limiting beliefs. You have a lot of incorrect assumptions that you need to delete. What you should do, instead of going after everybody, like ChatGPT does, again, you are not OpenAI, you are not a billion-dollar company, you need to pick a tiny niche and build a unique AI agent for that niche. Then dominate it. This is from the book 0 to 1. Also highly recommend reading this book. And don't be afraid to charge $300 a month. Like, there's nothing wrong with this. If you're providing it to a business or a wealthy individual and it's a unique product on the market that solves a painful problem for them, it should be worth way more than $300 a month. And you should charge a setup fee, right? So it should be like a big amount upfront, like $3,000, and then $300 a month after that. This also will lower your churn because someone who pays $3K, they're gonna, 300 is like 10 times less than $3K, so they're not gonna cancel this right away. So your churn is gonna be a lot lower. And what that means is you only need 7 new clients per month to make a nice full-time income of $20,000 a month. But on the other hand, if you do what everyone else does and you charge $20 a month, you need 1,000 unique paying clients per month to make $20,000 a month. And that is super hard, like way more difficult than this pricing model. So yeah, just listen to my advice. It comes from mistakes I made and a lot of time I wasted myself. So if you enjoy a video like this, brutally honest advice about how to grow your AI software company, and you want to scale to $200,000 a year and beyond, make sure to apply. The first link below the video is going to be to my accelerator. We pick a handful of founders. In fact, we reject 98% of applicants. Where we pick the best 2% of founders and work with them straight on for 6 months straight to help them scale faster. So again, go below the description, click the first link, and take a couple of minutes and apply now.